What's up, crew? Hope you're having a rad day. This is the Trailcross LT from FiveTen. Is this a legit mountain biking shoe? Did they just take a running shoe and slap some stealth rubber onto the bottom? Is this the end of FiveTen or a new beginning? Well, in this episode, we're going to answer at least one of those questions. I'm Alan, and this is the MTB Alan channel. I'm Alan, this is the MTB Alan channel. Check to see if you're subscribed. If you're not, hit the subscribe button and I will show up in your feed every Monday with rad episodes like this one, where I give you my long-term review on the FiveTen Trailcross LTs. So far, I've logged 300 miles in these shoes, and if you want my 5-word response to these shoes, I like them. If you want more details though, hang out because here they come. The Trailcross line is quite a departure from the Freerider line, where the Freerider uses traditional methods and materials to produce a familiar skate shoe look and feel. The Trailcross uses high-tech materials and a new design approach to produce a shoe that has looks that some love and others hate. You might remember that I demoed the Trailcross Mid Pros back when they were just coming out onto the market. I really liked how well they performed on the bike, and I also really appreciated how comfortable they were when I was just walking around. But I wasn't fully sold on going full high top. I don't do a lot of hiking or trail building, and as far as ankle protection, I've been running low tops from the get-go, But when I saw the Trailcross LTs, I was like, yeah, that's what I want. All the Trailcross Mid Pro, just not so much mid, bro. I don't actually know what the LT stands for. I mean, it might stand for little Trailcross, like Trailcross little, or maybe it's less than, Trailcross less than, lemur terrain. Anyways, they're the low top version of the Mid Pros. I wonder why they didn't call them the Trailcross Mid Lows. That's what I would have called them. The Trailcross LTs, like their taller siblings, are a mountain biking shoe that take into account the activities that are peripheral to mountain biking. Hiking, hike-a-biking, trail building, getting beers, getting tacos, driving home. But primarily they are a riding shoes. They're pedal pals, as it were. Before we go any further, let me give you a little bit of background on me and my experience with flat pedal shoes and flat pedals. I'm currently running the One-Up Components composite pedal, and before the Trailcross LTs, I was pairing that pedal with the Freerider Pros from FiveTen. I have tried a few other shoes, and like so many of you, I landed on the FiveTen Freeriders. By far the most popular flat pedal shoe on the market. And for good reason. So you would think I would compare the LTs to the Freeriders, but it's not really a fair comparison because in terms of price and performance, the Trailcross LTs are more in the class of the Freerider Pros. After a couple of years on the Freeriders, I tried out the Freerider Pros, and I was legitimately stunned by how much better they performed on the bike. It felt like my suspension had better small bump compliance, the pedaling felt more efficient, and then they handled hard impacts better. So the Freerider Pros really set the bar high. So I want to see how well the Trailcross LTs measure up to the Freerider Pros. So we're going to start by looking at where the Trailcross LTs do as well as the Freerider Pros. Then we're going to look at where the LTs excel. And finally, we'll look at some of the places where the Trailcross LTs have issues. Actually, let's cover one of those things right now. The LTs and the Mid Pros run big. So if you order the size from FiveTen that you normally order, they will be too big. You need to order 1/2 size smaller. So if you normally order, say, a 10, you need to get a 9.5. Otherwise, you will get them and you'll put them on and they will be too big. I know, I seem a little bit tense about this, but it does. People are like, I ordered the size I normally get and they're too big. I've even had some people say things like, these shoes are baggy. Order a 1/2 size smaller. Please. I just want what's best for you. Okay, we got that out of the way. I feel better. Let's move on. The good. These are the areas where the Trailcross LTs do as well as the Freerider Pros, though sometimes by different means. Grip. The Trailcross LT outsole uses the same tried and true combo of stealth rubber and dotty pattern that you will know from the Freerider and Freerider Pro. The rubber sticks to your pedals and resists linear movement, and the dotty pattern interfaces with the pins to resist both linear and rotational movement. If you've experienced this outsole, I probably don't need to convince you. If you haven't, take my word for it, it works. As a matter of fact, take the word of practically anybody who rides flat pedals on a mountain bike. Performance. Like the Freerider Pro, the midsoles on the LTs are made of an EVA foam, which adds another layer of vibration damping as well as impact absorption. You really notice the difference with this midsole through rock gardens and across the chunder. And as far as hard impacts, I've definitely had to put my foot out a couple times coming down from a jump, and I can vouch for their ability to absorb a hard hit. The outsole and midsole together combine to give the shoe its torsional stiffness and precise pedal feel. If you're working the shoe with your hands, you'll find that the Trailcross are about as stiff as the Freerider Pros except around the toe. On the bike, climbing and descending, I don't really notice much of a difference between the two shoes. Protection. This is one that I hear the most about, and for good reason. They look like running shoes. But don't let that fool you. The Trailcross LTs offer just as much protection as the Freerider Pros, just by different means. The uppers are made of a material that is thicker, stiffer, and more rugged than the net-like kind of fabric that you'll find on trainers. In the time that I've been riding them, they've handled crashes and hits as well as the Freerider Pros. The Trailcross LT has thick rubber at the toe and thick material around the heel. Combine that with a shock-absorbing sole, and you've got a shoe that has protection where it counts. Durability. Like I said, I've logged 300 miles on these shoes, and so far they show no unusual signs of damage. I had been concerned about these drain ports, especially the ones on the outside. I didn't know how they would affect the durability of the midsole. So far, everything seems to be fine. Alright, now we're going to look at where the LTs do better than the Freerider Pros. Coming back to the uppers, the lighter material offers a lot more airflow than the Freerider Pros, more so even than the regular Freeriders. And being that I'm in Southern California, where anything below 90 degrees is considered noise, having a whole bunch of cooling air moving through the shoe is a welcome change. This of course means that they're not waterproof. They're anything but waterproof. They're more like, what are you waiting for? Come on through. The Trailcross approach to water is kind of like California's recent approach to marijuana. We know it's going to happen, so we're going to account for it and just cut down on all the weird, drawn-out interactions. As far as I can tell, the entire shoe is made of synthetic materials that don't hold on to water. I tested this out by fully soaking the shoes and then checking them in the morning, and in the morning they were 100% dry. Now, Southern California isn't known for its rain, but it is good to know that if you do live where it's rainy, that a soaked pair of shoes will at least be mostly dry if you're going out to ride the next morning. An added benefit to this is after your ride, you can spray your shoes off while you're spraying down your bike and know that you'll have a fresh and clean pair of shoes for that next ride. It's definitely not something you can do with the Freeriders or Freerider Pros. Comfort. Now, this is a big one for me. I love how the Freerider Pros feel on the bike. Off the bike, not so great. They look great when you're going and getting tacos and beer, but they were just never as comfortable as the regular Freeriders. I even took to carrying post-ride shoes, even if it was just a drive home. The Trailcross LTs do have more flex in the sole, but it is a targeted flex. They're still pretty stiff where they interface with the pedal, but they have more flex near the ball of the foot, making them a lot more comfortable to walk in. And the uppers do a really nice job of giving the shoe structure when the laces are tight, but when you loosen them, they offer a much more relaxed fit. It says a lot that I no longer carry post-ride shoes and that I feel comfortable hanging out in these for a long time. Hiking. I don't do much hiking because you can't coast, but I have been doing more hike-a-biking while I'm doing shoots or while I'm sessioning something. Like I mentioned, the soles have the FiveTen dotty pattern. This pattern varies some near the toe with these horizontal edges that provide some extra traction while hiking uphill. I don't think it makes a whole bunch of difference on hard pack or on rock, but when it's loose and dusty, I think those edges do offer a bit more traction. The real difference is the braking edges at the heel. I definitely feel more confident in the LTs when I'm hiking downhill, no matter the terrain. As far as keeping dirt out, I was actually pretty surprised how well the LTs did this. Hiking up through Snow Summit Dust, Sky Park Loam, and Snow Valley Kitty Litter, little to no dirt was getting in. The bad. Alright, let's talk about where the LTs have issues. The laces. Okay, this might seem minor, but it's a minor thing that causes big problems. The laces that come with the Trailcross are these thin, slippery capellinis. And maybe they're the fastest drying laces that FiveTen and Adidas could find, but they have one job, keeping the shoes tight. And they don't do a good job of that. I hate doing a full pull and feeling my shoes get increasingly loose as I get towards the bottom of the trail, and really I should be able to go a full day without having to retie my shoes. The solution, of course, was to use different laces. I pretty much just pulled these thicker, more grippy, I don't know what they are, but they're laces that came with some other shoes that I got, and that solved the problem. Slippery laces just don't make sense to me. Lace makers, if somebody's making you make these slippery laces, stand up for what you know is right, stop making them, make grippy laces. Sizing. I know we covered this already, but I do consider this a problem with the Trailcross line. As a consumer of FiveTen products, I expect the sizing across the brand to be consistent. I know what size I wear in the Freeriders, I know what size I wear in the Freerider Pros, in the Freerider Impacts, in the Hellcats, in the Spitfires, whatever, I know what size I need to order online. When it comes to the Trailcross LTs, this is different. And while the Trailcross LTs are great if you order half a size smaller, you don't know this unless you've either watched my other video or you've ordered yours, found that it's baggy and had to replace it and get another pair. It's just weird. So, are these just running shoes with stealth rubber on the bottom? Clearly the answer is no. These are legit trail riding shoes. Are they just another pair of Adidas shoes that happen to have a FiveTen brand on them? If that's the case, Adidas just got really good at making mountain bike shoes. So is this the beginning of the end for the FiveTen shoe brand? It's really hard to say. I mean, Adidas purchased FiveTen back in 2011, and you probably didn't know that until more recently. And that's maybe because while over the last 9 years, Adidas could have been slowly dismantling the FiveTen brand while building up their own shoe line, they didn't do that. And more recently, the FiveTen brand became a sub-brand of Adidas Outdoor. And what that says to me is that Adidas really wants the FiveTen brand to survive. They want to give the brand more resources while also giving them some level of autonomy. So hopefully we will continue to see innovations come out of FiveTen while also being able to still get a hold of that old Freerider flavor. So I hope you dug this long-term review on the Trailcross LT, as well as my thoughts on the FiveTen brand, which kind of was unexpected. But yeah, hopefully you dug it. Hit the like button, check to see if you're subscribed. If you are not, hit the subscribe button and I will show up in your feed every Monday with rad episodes like this one. And with that, I will see you next week.